we're gonna just jump right in there. Renee, is that okay if we jump in?
I guess we could just go ahead and jump in, man. I'm seeing live on Twitch. I'm seeing live on any platform that we are broadcasting on, man. I don't see any lags either. How about you guys? You don't see anything? Joe?
Awesome. No, I don't see it yet. No, I see we're live. Yeah.
Well, we're live,
Joe. So, the first article is about the Apple Watch. This one got a lot of press like 2 years ago, I believe. I'm not sure if it. Renee, do you know if it came out earlier than that?
Which one about the new watch?
Yeah,
with the ECG. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know.
But it's been
Not sure if this is related to the older device, and it actually just all they did was just update the hardware on it or software, or it's a whole new generation. Not too sure on that, Joe.
But at least it's been out for 2 years. And the thing is, these were cleared by FDA, to warn you. Yeah, which I think is kind of surprising. Especially what this article is talking about, like the actual accuracy. So it was cleared by the FDA, but it's like nowhere near what a medical EKG does. But it has like 2 nodes, one on the front, underneath, and then I believe it's one on the band. And so it's checking your heart rate, and it has like 3 settings. It has one like a normal, like they say, like sinus, and then another one is AFib, and then another one is I believe it's like basically an inconclusive. So relatively cheap but still expensive. I believe it was like $400, and it does the typical thing about like checking your heart rate, but it also like shows your heart rhythm. And what do you think about that?
That's kind of scary to rely on something like that. And if it's been FDA approved, I wonder what kind of test they ran on it. If they actually compared it to an actual ECG machine. I don't remember what an ECG looks like. Or
yeah, it's electrocardiogram. So
explain to us with like how visually, like just by you explaining to it a little bit what an ECG or AKG, whatever it looks like.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to tell you the basics. So when you do the expensive hospital grade, there's 10 electrodes. They place them up on your arms, they place them on your chest, they put it on your back. They do a lot of different places. And that gives you a more accurate reading as to what's happening with the heart, whether the heart is having trouble with like the first part of like the push. There's like, there's 4 chambers of the heart. So, or whether it's having difficulty with the filling up of the heart with your blood, or the squeeze, or whether it like shivers after it does that or before that. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the heart, and this picks, a real good AKG picks up a lot of good data, like 12 points basically. So there's 12 graphs. We call it 12 lead, and I was telling you, with AI, with reading, like facial recognition.
Correct.
Well, there's AI that does the graph reading, and so medical grade EKGs are really accurate in that they can also tell people, like, you could be looking at it, and then you can see an irregularity that's obviously something concerning, and you can like like zoom in and copy that and print that out. But the computer on the screen can also like tell you this looks like AFib, or like tachycardia or something, right? Yeah. And so it's a nice helpful thing. Like, it's not like the definitive thing, but it's like pointing, oh, look, there's this irregular heart rate. It's like at least popping something up on the screen. And then because you're seeing that, you're looking more closely at that monitor if there's something up,
Yeah.
And so with this product, so we should probably go into what the problem was. The product only had like a 10% accuracy.
Really?
Yeah, so you're paying $400 for 10% accuracy, and basically the 10% accuracy was based on like, I don't know, about like let's just say like 400 patients go right, and what was, let's see, yeah, only 10% of those 400 who went to like the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota
Yeah.
um had something that was abnormal that the doctor would change something in their medications or their treatments based on what the Apple Watch was telling them.
Hmm. Okay.
And so 90% of them were like false alarms, which,
Yeah.
you know, going to the Mayo is not cheap, and then going to see your doctor in general, so people probably weren't happy about that. And it's nice to see these trends because now it kind of like tells you, well, maybe you should hold off on buying that technology.
Is this like an additional feature, or is this embedded into the Apple Watch?
Um, I believe it's an additional feature. I mean, like it's built into it, but like, I mean, there's different tiers of Apple Watches,
So
and
people could still buy the device just to use as a watch, but they just won't be able to rely too much 100% on just the heart rate, the heart monitor part.
yeah, and I think it's just like, you know, it's kind of like just like a curious technology,
Yeah,
you know?
it's just like we're pretty just doing the start of something new, and that's pretty cool. I do like that feature. It just
Yeah,
it probably will eventually get some more upgrades as we progress in technology, and maybe
yeah.
even get better. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and you're hoping that like this information about it only being 10% accurate,
Mm-hmm.
is enough aggregate data so that Apple maybe can change something to make their next product 30% accurate or
Yeah,
something, or
interesting.
you know. So, yeah, it's a lot of it's inconclusive, and so basically, what that the unfortunate thing about that is it makes it look, uh, it looks negatively on the Apple Watch, and also, it can cause a lot of fear and anxiety if you think you have something that you don't.
Yeah, I just wonder why if the FDA approved something that's only 10% accurate.
That beats me. I think the FDA could do a lot better job in a lot of things. Like I think we've had this conversation before. Like the FDA, I think the FDA is approving tons of foods as healthy, right? Like the sodium level is within normal range, right?
Huh?
But that sodium level can lead to a lot of heart irregularities, which ties into this. So the
Interesting.
FDA needs to up its standards in what it approves.
It's either that or it's just people just approving things. It's like, oh yeah, it's approved. Yeah, it's just maybe by off by like 10 more numbers. Let's go ahead and approve it. Yeah, just
Yeah.
being the process of being lazy, or it just maybe
What?
something.
And I think we should probably put more money into the FDA,
Think so.
because I think if there's some like supplements aren't regulated by the FDA,
Correct.
but I think they need to have enough money going into the FDA that FDA regulates. Like, I don't know, they need a lot more research to regulate a lot of these supplements and a lot of these food products and a lot of these, why did they approve this device? 10% is not that great.
Correct.
Like, would you sign off on something that's 10% accurate?
Hell no. Heck no, should I say.
I think it would have to at least be like 75%. Because
Yeah.
50-50, it's like saying, you know what I mean? Like, yes, I you diagnose yourself. You're like, I think I have some heart problem. Yes, no, that's 50-50.
I would rather do 50-50 at a start of like a brand new project and brand new products coming out. I would rather be 50% accurate versus 10% for a
Yeah.
brand new product coming out, but I do give them props for actually doing 10%, but that could still help somebody that doesn't know what's wrong with them actually save their life. At least maybe save their life.
No, I see what you're saying. Like, it's just an added feature. Buyer beware. You bought it, but unfortunately,
Correct.
FDA put their label on it.
They shouldn't.
and which is the bad part, right? Like they kind of like get to where the buyer beware. But the thing is, though, maybe it makes us all more health conscious.
Correct.
So even though it like jacked up health insurance and health care costs and was a burden on the system, maybe those people, I don't know. The argument would be that the people who bought this watch, maybe they already were health conscious people and they already get checked out regularly.
Correct.
So it's actually, maybe it's not like helping them be scanned more frequently, but maybe it is. And so maybe, you know, I don't know, that's the catch-22, that maybe these people wouldn't ignore their symptoms.
Also, this could also be a plot for us to be paying our doctors more money, and the insurance money and insurance companies could be getting more moolah. What do you think about that, Joe?
So the insurance is working with Apple.
Yes.
And FDA.
Yeah, they're just like Apple's paying them off. It's like, hey, just sign this contract, and we'll just keep sending you money. The more we make more money, and just sign it off, guys. Come on, guys. Let's make more money for the insurance and the doctors. I know we know you need the money. I'm donating to you guys. I don't know. That's just a thing, a theory.
Yeah, one of many.
One of many under it. If you think about it, why would you sign something that's 10%, man? I understand if it was 30, or I would understand like I said 50, because it could, like me, for instance, I do have my heart rate slow down drastically. It won't be, you won't be able to, you won't be able to read it through any what those things called, Joe, that you check your blood pressure right here on your arm. The doctors use stethoscope or those blood pressure thingies.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called. They can't even hear my heartbeat, and they won't be able to even feel it. That's the way my heart thing is. My heart issue is I can't figure out why does my heart rate drops drastically. No machine or person could actually feel it or hear it. So I'm kind of wondering, like, you know, if this was the case, something like that, and actually detect my heart, you know, I would appreciate it notifying me, and actually I would go to the doctor and get checked more.
Well, I would like to see, I'm looking for it right now, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. I'd like to see what data the FDA looked at.
Correct. I would like to see what is that. What did they run trials?
I don't know, guys. I'm looking it up right now, but I'll put this down as something to come back to next week, because you know it happened. It relates to product reviews and FDA reviews, and it's your health. So you'll be hearing a little bit of like maybe like a 2-minute follow-up on this.
Yeah, correct. We'll do that next weekend. And just to make sure, just to give you all a heads up, why is FDA approving a 10% ratio versus something else? You know, they shouldn't be approving that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be happy if tech channels were reviewing, we're giving A+ ratings to something that just works 10% of the time.
Correct. I still have
my Brio is gonna like turn off 90% of the time.
It's not like the remember the webcam I demoed. I still haven't even uploaded the video. I haven't even uploaded that video, guys. I'm like, I still have a video webcam I demoed. They pushed it out, but it was horrible. It was a horrible decision on it. So, well, you'll see the video at up in the upcoming things. So,
yeah. So there's some things that we can't give our approval to because it's got to at least be consistent.
Correct. It has to be.
Like for a product, it probably has to work like 95%, 97, you know, like pretty high up there, you know,
man,
like almost like 99%. Like, and if not, you have a good return policy.
Hope so.
Maybe Apple, that's something, guys. Like, is Apple going to be giving you your money back or
Correct.
giving a refund, or is there going to be a lawsuit about like false claims?
Yeah, maybe there is a claim on it stating
that like this is, you can't rely on anything we're saying.
Correct.
we don't even know why I put this product in there.
Correct. It's like I know that
Somebody just said, "Hey, maybe." I don't know. Like,
yeah, and it
I
just
guess
said
I guess we talked to the we communicated with the FDA, and what was that conversation like?
yeah,
Oh, guys,
definitely.
this we know this thing doesn't really work that well, but can you like can you say, hey, it might get like 5% of the population to maybe care about their heart rate?
It just like I said, maybe it's making
It's a health
FDA said
campaign.
correct. I was gonna say it's forcing us to go see back to the doctor visit. Like, hey, go to the doctor now and get checked, evaluate it.
So there might be some interaction between the FDA and Apple.
How do you, Joe? It's a big issue there.
we're gonna try to uncover it for you guys.
We're trying to uncover that definitely.
So let's go on to our last article for today. This is pretty interesting because if anybody's following the new graphics cards, with NVidia or NVidia, like some people like to say, the RTX 3080 and the RTX 3090, they sold out almost immediately.
Really?
Some people were like clicking refresh, and literally they couldn't even like put it in the cart or anything, right? It's all gone. And so that's pretty frustrating. You normally would think it might happen like a day or
Yeah.
like during the day or something, but it was instantly, like at the time they said it launched, it was
Yeah.
all gone. And so NVIDIA has heard the cries of everybody on the internet, and everybody, most people who got it were like people who were at stores waiting. And I've seen launches before where there's like 30 people outside the store and only like 10 people can get it, right? It probably
What?
was it probably was worse than that. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably
Oh,
worse than that because they normally, like, NVIDIA's never come out, like, I've never heard NVIDIA come out and say this, but they're delaying the launch of the RTX 3070 2 weeks from October 15th to October 29th to avoid the same kind of upsetness because they didn't there's not that much supply.
yeah.
So they put it out on Twitter, and yeah, so they're gonna put more graphics cards in more companies' hands to hopefully meet the supply. But it's gonna run out. But hopefully it runs out in more than 1 minute.
So that's what you were telling me about, Joe, right? That they're putting it more in other companies' hands so they could put more production. Because you told me last time that I didn't know this, guys. That I thought NVIDIA was just like the only company that makes graphics cards. And
Oh, yeah.
then you explained to me that there were other manufacturers, Joe. Is that right?
Well, what they do is they manufacture like the GPU part, which is a small
Correct.
part of it, right? And the other companies like EVGA, and Zotac and everybody else, they like do the rest of the card basically. Like
Okay.
they design so much of the other card. Like there's a part of it, okay, the PCB, the probably like the memory map modules and stuff like that. So like that stuff, maybe there's like the controller piece. That
Mm-hmm.
part is NVIDIA, like the whole center part, okay, with like the memory and the power. Like, but there's part of that is tweakable, and like they add stuff to it, like how much energy output, you know
Mm-hmm.
each company, like I told you, EVGA or
Correct.
PNY or Asus or somebody, they can like make the power modules more resistant so that they can push more powers through it, or there's more redundancy so that it doesn't like blow up, right?
I didn't know none of this.
And also like the graphics cards where you could have like a 3-fan design, and there's a whole bunch of other like different like copper and different types of things they put in there to cool the graphics card down. So the ones that they're shipping right now, typically right now,
Mm-hmm.
are like the stock ones that like NVIDIA designed. And so these are the ones that are like going to like Micro Center and other companies, and
Oh,
that
okay.
NVIDIA made themselves, like from start to finish. But the custom ones, it's called the AIB, the partners, they're going to be coming up with their own custom things that are more energy efficient.
Yeah.
Like, or they run cooler, not necessarily more energy efficient, but they run cooler and draw more power. But yeah, those ones come out like like weeks later and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of sad when like it all goes out right away. And that has happened for like, consoles or other things and stuff. But for some reason, NVIDIA is, you know, deciding not to sit on the fence and say, "Hey, that's typical." And
Yeah.
they're saying, "Hey, we kind of like made a mistake and we're going to fix it." Which is, it's good for people who want the graphics cards.
Yeah.
There's pent up demand, and people want to take their mind off the global problem,
Yep.
and
Definitely.
a lot of the graphics cards, they like, even with the RTX 3090, I was watching benchmarks. It
Yeah.
has like there like how I said like 8K isn't there's no need for it.
Yeah.
I could see myself going to 8K, but I'd have to have the capital for that,
Correct. Capital. That's
But
expensive.
that's a lot. But like what I'm saying is that the RTX 3090, which is cost $1,500,
Oof.
it has trouble at 4K in some games where it's like 70 frames,
That,
which
that's
it's
horrible.
good, right? It's good. It's playable at 70 frames, right? But you're just thinking, yeah, you want those graphics cards. I thought we'd get graphics cards that actually really could, for lower type games like League of Legends, the 2060 can
Correct.
go like 144 frames or something, But if you want those real immersive games, the single player and the multiplayer and stuff, it looks like we're still waiting like 2 more generations to get in like the hundreds.
Yeah.
At least the next one. Probably the next one will probably break into it, but again, it'd still be the most expensive that'll be able to do it.
So
So
curious.
yeah. So I'm not sure if anybody's interested in buying the consoles, because the Xbox Series X is going to be the same price as this graphics card.
Really?
Yeah, which, if you're into consoles, that's, that means like, everybody else will have to still like buy like the PSU, the CPU, the RAM, the monitor and everything, And I don't know. So if you're just buying stuff, it might make more sense to get a console.
Definitely.
If you like controller and you don't mind the input lag, because
Is there an input lag?
well, they're always, yeah. I mean, there's less on the computer, but there is on. But if you don't know about it, then it's not really there, is it?
I've never noticed. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I play
So there
console
you go. Like
games.
it's
Never
kind of
seen it.
like it's kind of like what is it? Oh, what's that saying about like better to be naive? Like, oh, ignorance is bliss.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go try that now, Joe. Getting me curious. Like
You
a lag.
play your console and see how much lag there is compared to the computer.
Yeah. Well, I can't test it on a computer, but I know on the Xbox I could try it. Well, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie. I still have the old generation. I still got the Xbox 360
Well,
and the
but if you notice it,
PS3.
yeah, if you notice it there's still probably less lag on the desktop.
I have to try. I have to check that out. Now you're getting me more curious, Joe.
Yeah, I'm bringing you into the PC master race. That's what they call it, the PC master race. Like where consoles are plebeians, and you never go back to console because things are too good in the world of the PC.
Yeah, I didn't know how good the PC world was until I started doing more research into the graphics cards because of Joe here. Joe's all about the NVIDIA. Has his top videos right there, right, Joe?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I would say like it really like gets obsessive where you start to go down. You're like, I want the high frame rate, right? Like I was like really obsessing about high frame rate, like, oh, 144. And I was dreaming about, I'm like, they have to put 240 hertz monitors out there. And now like they did that. And then now that NVIDIA was pushing this last year, they're pushing 360 frames monitors. And they were like showing like elite gamers. They were showing, look how many more kills they got because the 360 versus the 144. And like, they were really indulging the addicts.
Yeah.
And then they're showing like, I think what they're showing like Minecraft and like 8K or something, or definitely. I don't know what they were doing. And they're like, you need to play with RTX like 8K or something. RTX, it never 8K. Ends.
Bro, how are you gonna get all that in there? 8K.
So yeah, PC world is addictive. And then for me, I like backed off and said, I'm okay, but I did want better colors. So that's why I got the 4K monitor with the better colors, the 8 the 10 with the 8 true bit, and then the 2 bits that are like AI.
So which GPU do you have currently, Joe?
The RTX 2060.
And what's the highest it could do?
Well, okay, so I was playing like Battlefield 5 recently, and with the 10400, the Intel, it was struggling. It was like at 30 frames per second. So
how much RAM do you have on your computer?
32 gigs.
Holy cow. And what about what's the CPU?
The CPU is a 6-core that is it's locked at
12 threads.
No, it's locked at like 4.2, I believe. It's 12 threads. 6 cores, 12 threads. Okay. So it just it does what I want. Like I can play like so my monitor lets me do 98 frames where it's the true color that I bought it for. You can push it to 144, but you lose some of the color, like HDR they call it. But so I play League of Legends in like 98 frames.
And you still have that game still installed on your computer?
What, the Battlefield 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you a little bit after this and see if I can resolve that issue for you.
Well, okay, I was playing at Ultra. Like every single setting at the highest it can play.
Well,
that's how I like to play. So it'd be hard to sacrifice those things and say, hey, oh look, you got 60 frames or 90.
Were you streaming?
No, I wasn't even streaming. That's the nutsy thing.
Okay,
that's why it's like in 5 years from now.
I need to try something on your computer. Try this new different setting, and if it works for you, you could bring that into the next podcast as well. This is just a beta test for you.
Sounds good. I'll look into it. Is it like planned in virtual or what? Like virtual box?
No, something totally different. Something that you haven't tried yet, and I'm kind of wondering that might be the issue. This is curious.
Stay tuned, guys. It'll be another surprise.
I don't know if this is gonna work, but Joe's gonna do a test run. He's gonna be the guinea pig today.
It's Renee's October surprise.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm the one that's treating you guys out. Yes, and there'll be virtual pizza next weekend. So if you want virtual pizza, there'll be virtual pizza there.
Everybody
pizza. There'll be a pizza on the screen for you guys.
So I think we're gonna wrap up this week. I did want to end it up on this one like somber note. We talked about this, Renee. I won't get too political about this, but you know, whenever a president or anybody really, right? Anybody. Yeah, so generally. Like I was crying back in like February and March when I heard about people catching the global problem, right? Like it was really emotionally messing with me, and I kind of like became a little bit numb over the months. I tried to like distance myself, but now, you know, it just really like I don't know. I think it hits a lot of people though. I've seen people who don't like President Trump who are kind of like getting choked up a little bit that he's looking like the news is coming out that he might be getting like sicker quicker, like that he might have like he caught the global problem and he might have been staying in the White House for a while and they thought like maybe their doctor could have handled it. But then he went to the hospital today and it looks like it might be getting worse. We don't know, right? So I was just going to end this podcast with saying, our thoughts and prayers are with the president, and we're praying that he recovers. We're praying that he takes the global problem more seriously. Hope he survives. Hope his family survives and everybody else around them that got it, and everybody else around the planet. We're all still dealing with this. We're all still catching
Correct.
it. We're all still, losing loved ones and having to send loved ones into hospitals that we can't visit them.
Correct. And that's sad.
Yeah. So it's really sad. And it, and we're all we're exhausted from this global problem.
So please, guys, please take this serious, and also please stop doing a lot of protesting. We understand everything going on, and do take this serious. Everybody does hear you cry and stuff like that, but right now at this point in time, we do need to be serious and help one another in any way we can.
Yeah, like social distance. Like people can do a lot of awareness campaigns on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. I don't think that people should take to the streets and do protests when we're spreading this global problem. And I think everybody please wear your masks. Please don't have parties, like family meetings are probably like one of my friends. I haven't met my friends since February. So just to tell people that I haven't been out like with my friends at all. I've been trying to like contain this thing, So and family are probably, a lot of us are going to be talking over the internet, FaceTiming.
Correct. And also to guys, please, when you go out in public, don't, just because you don't believe this is legit or not, don't cough in front of people's faces, and do respect everybody's privacy, because I've been here, because I'm a Lyft and Uber driver, also full time, besides having an IT job. I've heard this from a client today, that they cough in front of people's faces. Please do respect that privacy, because you don't know.
Common decency,
Yeah, just
like even if we weren't dealing with this global problem, you wouldn't be doing that kind of behavior.
Correct.
Like I've been like when I was like just standing, like keeping like the 6 feet distance, people were making fun, like they were making comments,
Mm-hmm.
and so people are making fun of people who are taking this seriously, and it's just troubling because we're going into the fall and the winter season, and we're going to be dealing with the flu and this global problem at the same time.
Correct.
And just like I said, we're going to say our prayers for the president. Hopefully he changes his tune on what, he's been taking it somewhat seriously, like ordering a lot of supplies and doing a lot of, putting the ships there and a lot of other things. But he hasn't been doing everything that the medical professionals have been telling him. And so let him survive, let other people survive, and let it change him so that he can save other people's lives.
Correct.
So
sorry for bringing like all this stuff involved in this too. But
it's the trend. It's the trend of the day.
Correct. It's just do take care of yourself, and we don't want to bring this stuff into every podcast, but this is something that does need to be said out loud and told to people, so people can understand what's going on.
Yeah. So have a great weekend, guys. Take care of your loved ones, and stay tuned. We'll give you more tech news next week.